Once upon a time, in the deepest part of the sea, lay the hidden realm of the Sea King.
"15 tides have counted, waiting in the deep. Whispers from..."
In a valley of towering coral, the Sea King's radiant palace stood in silent majesty.
Silver bubbles rising, secrets in
The Sea King had long been a widower, and his palace was cared for by his wise mother.
Oh, surface, I'll find you tonight.
The old grandmother looked after the palace and raised his 6 mermaid granddaughters. The 6 mermaid princesses grew up beautifully. But the youngest was the most enchanting, her skin soft as rose petals and her eyes a deep sea blue, filled with curiosity. The princesses played in the coral hall. Small fish slipped in through the amber windows, swimming around them and eating from their hands like tame birds. Outside the palace, the underwater gardens glowed with vibrant colors. Each mermaid princess had her own little garden, and the youngest's was shaped like a sun, filled with red-orange flowers that shimmered like sunset light on the sea's surface. In her garden, the youngest kept a marble statue of a prince from a shipwreck. She loved hearing stories about the human world ships, cities, animals, and birds she imagined as singing fish. The world above was a mystery that always called to her.
Oh, surface, I'll find you tonight.
Their grandmother said that when they turned 15, the princesses were allowed to rise to the surface, sit upon the moonlit rocks, and see the forests, the cities, and the ships of humankind. One by one, her sisters rose to the surface each year, leaving the youngest to wait until all of them had taken their turn. Her eldest sister returned with tales of a glowing city music, church bells, and a quiet night on a sandbank near the shore, all shimmering like stars. The second sister rose at sunset, golden skies, violet clouds, and white swans gliding past like a long scarf toward the sun. The third sister explored a great river, seeing green hills, a castle, singing birds, and human children playing in the water before they ran away in fright at the sight of her. The fourth sister stayed far out at sea, watching the sky like a glass dome as whales and dolphins passed through the endless blue waves. The fifth sister witnessed a winter world, green seas, church-high icebergs shimmering like gems, and a glowing red storm behind them. At last, the Little Mermaid turned 15 and was allowed to rise to the surface.
Where the stars kiss the sea, to the surface where the wind sings to me. Oh, where waves don't hold me back, set me free.
Above the calm waves, a large ship adorned with colorful lanterns floated. Music and human laughter filled the night air. As the fireworks burst and lit up the night, the Little Mermaid was captivated by the young prince gazing at the sky through his telescope. But the storm came suddenly. The sky darkened, lightning split the night, and the grand ship was struck by towering waves. The prince fell into the sea, carried along with the shattered pieces of the ship. Amid the wreckage and storm, the little mermaid searched for the prince, diving repeatedly until she found him sinking beneath the waves. In the midst of the storm, the little mermaid carried the prince as she swam toward the nearest town. Morning came, and the storm faded. She brought the prince ashore onto the white sand and wished for him to come back to life. A woman appeared on the shore. Seeing her, the little mermaid quickly hid. Soon after, the prince awoke and assumed she was the one who had saved him. The little mermaid returned to the underwater palace, quiet and heartsore, carrying a pain she could not speak of.
To the surface where my dreams long to be.
Her sisters finally learned the cause of the little mermaid's sadness and brought her to the surface right in front of the prince's grand and gleaming palace. Her curiosity grew too strong to ignore. She dreamed of becoming a human, even if only for a day. One day, the sea palace held a grand celebration. Melodious music filled the vast glass hall, where golden arches gleamed softly, and the entire room shimmered like a living pearl. On that magnificent night, the little mermaid sang more beautifully than anyone else, yet her mind drifted back to the prince.
To the surface where the stars kiss the sea. To the surface where the wind.
After the celebration, the little mermaid made her decision. For the prince, and to become human, she would go to the sea witch, despite her fear. To reach the witch's lair, she entered a region of whirlpools and boiling swamps. Passing through the terrifying forest of polyps, strange creatures that drag anything with their twisting tentacles. The little mermaid enters the witch's lair, adorned with bones and skulls. Fat water serpents writhe in the mud, their dull bodies slick and grotesque.
Give me your voice, Little Mermaid, and I shall give you legs.
I can help you turn your tail into legs. How about it?
Yes, I'll do it.
The potion must be drunk before sunrise. The tail will turn into legs, with pain like a sword slicing through the body. But if you fail to win the prince's love, you will become foam forever.
The little mermaid drinks the potion on the beach before sunrise. Slowly, her tail transforms into legs and she faints. She wakes up at sunrise. A prince stands before her and invites the little mermaid to the castle. Her mermaid tail is gone, replaced by a beautiful pair of legs. But she has no voice. In the palace, she was adorned in beautiful clothing. Yet she could not speak. When the maidservant sang, the prince praised her, tearing the little mermaid's heart apart. The little mermaid then danced beautifully with the prince. Everyone was enchanted, especially the prince, who asked her to stay in the palace.
And it would be an honor for you to stay here with us.
One night, her sisters appeared at the surface, calling out to her in sorrow.
Sister, please, return to the sea.
Soon after, the prince approached her. The little mermaid's sisters had already swum back into the sea. The little mermaid wanted to know whether the prince loved her, but he told her that his heart truly belonged to the girl from the temple, the one who had saved him. The little mermaid loved the prince deeply, but he cared for her only as one would for a sweet, innocent child. The little mermaid's heart broke. She saved him, but could never say so. One day, the prince had to meet the princess of a neighboring kingdom. Everyone believed she would become his bride. So the prince set sail, and the little mermaid's heart grew sorrowful. Days later, the ship reached the neighboring kingdom, where music, bells, and endless festivities filled the city. The princess from the neighboring kingdom finally appeared. She was so beautiful that the little mermaid was left mesmerized. The prince recognized her as the girl who had saved his life. He embraced the princess, overflowing with happiness. The prince and the princess from the neighboring kingdom were married. The ceremony was simple, while the little mermaid's thoughts drifted to the night that would determine her fate.
Sekarang, Anda boleh mencium pengantin.
That night, the newlyweds set sail, and the little mermaid could only watch from afar. Suddenly, her sisters appeared. They had brought a knife to save the little mermaid. If she killed the prince, she could return to being a mermaid. If she didn't, she would turn into sea foam. But the little mermaid's love for the prince was so sincere. With a broken heart, she threw the knife into the sea. She dove into the sea, and her body slowly turned into foam. But she did not die. Because of her kindness and sincere love, she was given the chance to attain an eternal soul. She transformed into a being of light, a daughter of the air. She rose into the sky with the other daughters of the air, beginning her 300-year journey toward the light. Her story reveals that when kindness guides our sacrifices, their reward will come perhaps not as expected, but always in a meaningful form.